Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to the third edition of NigeriaWatch Online Research Seminar Series. I want to believe you've enjoyed the past two sections we had in the year 2021, and we are ushering you into the year 2022 with a very interesting topic, which is debunking the myths of road accidents during Ember Months with facts and figures from NigeriaWatch Database. I want to believe in one way or the other we travel in the month of December, and record has it about road accidents. And this belief that we used to have that during December period, traveling, there may be so many things attached to traveling. We want to get facts and figures from NigeriaWatch Database, and we'll be listening to the presentation by Vitus Ukoji, the coordinator of this project. He wants to give us facts about Ember Months. Before this, we want to quickly introduce what NigeriaWatch is, and this will help us to know more about this presentation. So I want to quickly share a slide about what NigeriaWatch is. Thank you. NigeriaWatch. NigeriaWatch is an online data that compile violence deaths in Nigeria, and it has been in existence since 2006. It was initially founded by the BFI, the British Council, through the NSRP project between February 2013 to July 2019. Currently, there's an MOU with Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Risk and Co, Nigeria, and Managing Conflict in Northeast, MCN, under the British Council. This project is housed by French Institute for Research in Africa, IFRA-Nigeria, a research institution based at the University of Ibadan since 1990. And there are 3 full Nigerian researchers who collate this research. We have the principal investigator of this project, Professor Macanswell. We also have the director of IFRA, Dr. Vincent. We have the project coordinator, Vitus, Ukoji, myself, and our communication analysts. This shows the place we are housed at the Institute of African Studies. And this is our work station, how we do the work. I want to look at our mission. Our mission is we compile and monitor data on violent death in order to provide statistics and analyze trend of fatality in Nigeria. Our core objectives are: 1, to develop, manage, and research the NigeriaWatch Database, provide ad hoc data on demand, train research and stakeholders on data mining. Our NigeriaWatch Data source. NigeriaWatch data is built with fatal incidents extracted from 10 national dailies: The Sun, Leadership, Punch, Vanguard, Independent, Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, Daily Trust, The Nation. Aside in the national dailies, data are collected from police reports, from judicial precedents, from hospitals, from human rights organizations such as Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International. How we manage our data. 1, what we do is we read and identify casualties. gathering of the source is followed by a thorough reading of the online paper. And after that, each team member is expected to go through the paper and extract vital information. And this vital information, after the selection is done, we identify the date by looking at some key elements with the kind of color we use in extracting this data. One, fatalities are highlighted with red pen, as same as the victim's name. Our location is highlighted with the blue pen. In location, we look at the local government, we look at the street at which the incident has happened, we look at the area, we look at the local government, we look at the states in which this incident has come out, And after this, we look at the date, and this date is highlighted with the green pen. Then we look at the protagonist. It could be a policeman shooting a civilian. It could be Boko Haram killing the soldiers. So with the black pen, we're able to indicate the protagonists. A major issue has been on the rise about the use of NigeriaWatch data, which is about our methodology. It's been an issue, and there's been an argument over and over about the methodology of NigeriaWatch Database. I will not say much about this as the presenter of the seminar today will dwell more about the methodology of NigeriaWatch. I want to quickly look at the way we enter our data entry. Data entry involves coding raw data into preset parameters. We look at the actors, we look at the location, we look at the causes, look at the date, like I've said earlier, that the pen depends on what we want to code in, a number of deaths and sources. Any additional information goes to the description box, which is the only free text entry point, like what we have right on our screen. We have the, once a data is ready to be inputted, we have the identifier. It's automatically creates itself, it creates a number. Then we have the title. We have the description box that describe things. That is the free text entry point that we have. We have the date. The date is inputted. We have access that will open access to people to be able to use it. And also we have the local government. I said we enter the location, including the streets, the village, the community, the local government area, the state. So we have a place for the local government area. We have all local governments in Nigeria. So we input the local government and also state the place at which the particular incident has happened. If there's going to be any relationship, probably if it is the police killing the soldiers or the soldiers killing civilians, we have where we put such. It's a very rich data. It's a very rich data entry. So after this, we also one thing we do is that we also quote the source of information. We have source at which we get this information, we put the paper, and also upload the paper that we can verify it at any time we choose to verify the incident. And with this, we want to look at the coded data set. This is how the coded data set comes in. We should also bear it in mind that multiple sources with different fatalities number are captured, and an automated average number of deaths is generated from this multiple fatalities. Now we want to look at NigeriaWatch online, what we really do and how we can come in. And this is a NigeriaWatch online. Who can access this data? How to access the data? How does the data look? how to export this data, and also how to use Nigerian Watch data beyond basic filter. Now, who can access this data? Basic features are public and everyone can access this data by just logging into www.nigerianwatch.org. And to access more advanced features, the researcher can now request for password from Nigerian Watch webmaster. And how do you get this? You just have to write the Nigerian Watch coordinator at Ibadan, and you benefit from other features such as export table in Excel, access copies of articles you need if you need anyone in the PDF form. So we want to look at accessing our database. Basically, it's simple and user-friendly. You know, it comes out like this here. Well, this is how you go about it. You have to click on list of events to log in. Logging in with a password gives you access to original source of information, and you have this document on PDF. We also want to look at searching events on our data. You could search events by states. You could search events by dates. And you could also search events by putting a text and you search with it. You know, events comes in the form of a table which can be exported to an Excel spreadsheet. Like this, when you search, it comes out like this. Why this is important why is it important to export to Excel? It enables researchers to proceed with much more complex query. So it comes out like this, trending fatalities in Nigeria by year and other forms. So end users have the opportunity to trend fatalities by causes, years, state, etc. The figure above highlights the total number of violent deaths in Nigeria. The one above here, from January to September 2015 is just like an example. Then we want to look at how some of these events comes out. Like it comes out in a bar chart, in a pie chart, and at times it comes out in cartographic representation. If you want it in a cartographic representation, it comes out. The Nigerian Watch Database provides users with the opportunity of mapping violence by state, like I said, by local government, by community. This is done by clicking on the map on the home page. If you want details of this, you can contact the Nigerian Watch Data and Nigerian Watch Coordinator for more of this. And in all of this, there have been several books, reports, and newsletters that have come out from the use of the Nigerian Watch data. There has been books, journals, and the like that has been published with academic materials published from the data, like 10 myths about violence in Nigeria, violence in Nigeria, a qualitative and quantitative analysis by African Studies Center, and the like. Then, what are other things we can do together? With all of this, we can also, there are other possible scientific uses like gender studies. We need to get information about domestic violence, about even ritual killing in Nigeria, land conflict, oil issue, militancy, piracy, and the like. You could access the data. And what can we do together? One, Nigerian Watch Data, we offer training section on how to use the Nigerian Watch Database, help general statistics, trend analysis to support your work, partner with organizations to develop focused research on a particular subject and deliver specific data analysis. Also, IFRA-Nigeria is also a partner that can facilitate and supervise academic projects between French and Nigerian institutions. Also a partner in social sciences and humanity research in English-speaking West Africa. And also an interdisciplinary network of research specialized in West Africa. I want to believe that you've been you have nice time, you really had nice time listening to this first part of the presentation. And I also wish to invite the next presenter, the presenter for today, who wants to tell us more about debunking the myths of road accidents during Ember Months with facts and figures from NigeriaWatch Database. Please welcome with me Mr. Vitus Ukoji. Mr. Vitus Ukoji, you are welcome.
Good day and welcome into 2022. Just like my colleague said, we'll be moving straight into the second part of the podcast. Normally in Nigeria, when you travel, the first thing that will come to your mind is where I get to my destination. And if eventually you get to your destination, your siblings, your parents, the first thing they will say is, thank God you arrived safe. So what I begin today is trying to look at the myths about car accidents in Nigeria. Don't really have any connection with the Ember Months. So we have to look at the global statistics of car accidents, road accidents. First, it's a global phenomenon. As the World Health Organization in 2018 estimated that 1.3 road accident deaths occur yearly. And it causes, it's the 8th leading cause of deaths globally. What we've seen from statistics that Africa is the worst hit, in the sense that 3 times of all the road deaths occur in the region. And the most affected people are always within the age range of 5 to 29 years old. This is those statistics 2018. Then Africa, mostly made up of low-coming. Sorry for the break. I was saying that Africa accounts for 3 times fatalities of the global world fatalities on road accidents. Why is it that way? Because road accidents affect mostly countries with low-income earners, and we know that Africa has a majority of low-income countries. So globally, we can see that Africa contributes about 21% of the entire deaths, going by WHO statistics. So we in Africa try to find out the reason why the statistics are not favorable to Africa. And like I said before, it's mostly because most countries in Africa are low earners. So secondly, I mean, governments in Africa have difficulty in coming up with policies that tries to overhaul existing road infrastructure that will actually help implement sustainable measures and improve road safety. So Africa contributes 44% of all the deaths, and the most affected people are the pedestrians and cyclists. Like we have motorcyclists, we have tricyclists. So because Africa, interestingly, Nigeria records the highest fatalities from road accidents. Like in 2019, Nigeria recorded 41,693 deaths, followed by Ethiopia, Kenya, South Africa, and Sudan. Now, WHO in 2019 rated Nigeria above other African countries. The organization and the global burden of disease had in 2016 also estimated road fatalities in Nigeria 36,802, with 21.4% deaths per 100 populations, then 19,710 fatalities with 9.86 deaths per 100 fatalities, going by the global burden of disease. The Federal Road Safety in 2009 statistics by reporting that 33.7% deaths are recorded per 100,000 people in Nigeria every year, making Nigeria one of the countries with the highest number of fatalities in the world. It's even a significant increase from the 21.4% estimated by WHO in 2016. So apart from the Federal Road Safety, we have Nigerian Bureau of Statistics
reported that 11,072 road crashes occurred in Nigeria in 2019, with speed violation accounting for 48% of the total road crashes. So MPS put the number of injured persons at 35,981, and then the dead at 5,483. So with all these statistics, we can actually come to the conclusion that road accidents have become a major cause of death in Nigeria, assuming the fourth position in the list of cause of labor violence in the country, apart from crime, which we can assume is very broad. Then apart from Boko Haram insurgency, which we can assume is limited to the northeast and then some places in the northwest. So with road accidents occupying the fourth position in the cause of labor violence in Nigeria, it's something that should not be swept under the carpet. So we really have to go a long way or probe into why such fatalities are occurring for road usage. So with the rising spate of road accidents, some Nigerians have actually developed it to some myths. When we say myths, we mean by unsubstantiable facts, assumptions, kind of assumptions about an occurrence. So the myth about road accidents in Nigeria has actually been, let's say, propagated by most Nigerians in some quarters, mostly in rural places. What looking at the facts, the ground, looking at the statistics we have in Nigerian base, now what we try to do is to debunk those myths with fixed facts and figures. But before we do that, we actually have to look at the methodology of how we collected data or how we work. Like my colleague said before. Now, data, NigeriaWatch Data is an online database. It collects data on labor violence in Nigeria, and it's been in existence since 2006. So data sets are mostly focused on reported incidents drawn from 10 Nigerian daily newspapers involving at least one death. And the reason why we had to settle with the 10 Nigerian papers that are widely or regionally based was to make sure that we cover most places in the country. We know some newspapers like The Nation, it's widely read in the Southwest. The Sun, though we may argue that they are nationally based. I mean, their area of they try to tilt more into towards regions. Like The Sun reports most incidents in the Southeast. The Daily Trust reports most incidents in the North. But looking at incidents on road accidents, we've always come to know that Nigeria has the Nigerian media, despite how people believe that it's advanced in Africa, we still have issues of underreporting. Then we still have issues of localization of violent incidents. So when incidents are occurring in rural places are not really properly reported, so it affects the database because we depend more or less on reported incidents. Apart from the international media houses that we extract data from. Now the 10 newspapers will always be there. And when incidents are not reported in them, then it becomes a problem for Nigeria because we really have to find a way to classify and validate how we collect data. So what happens is that all these incidents, road crashes are happening in rural villages. Many of them remain unreported. But since our focus is on looking at violent deaths increasing in Nigeria, are they decreasing? What are the main causes of those violence? So we try to focus on debunking the case of road accidents during the Ember Months with the available data on our database. Now going down to the main facts, we actually have to look at the general trend of violence in Nigeria. So Nigeria lost about 168,670 people at 4,967 incidents between 2006 and 2021.
It's holistic in the sense that it covers road accidents, covers insurgency, Boko Haram insurgency, herdsmen crisis, oil-related incidents, political and ethno-religious incidents. So all these, the leaders that are occurred in Nigeria between 2006 and 2001 resulted in the death of 168,670 deaths. And in this number, road accidents caused okay. In this number, in the overall number, road accident caused the fourth highest fatalities, only after crime, political and then religious issues. So that shows us the precarious situation we have on our roads. Now, like I said before, if you isolate all these causes, you isolate crime, that I said is widely broad-based. We have banditry, we have armed robbery, we have courtesy. Then if you isolate Boko Haram insurgency, which somehow is distributed in the northeast and then northwest, now you'll find out that road accident is the next highest cause of death in Nigeria. So results from the figure we have on the screen shows that 168,607 died in 633 road crashes, with the most they recorded in 2013, followed by 2010, and then 2014. If you look at the dynamics, the pattern, there was no pattern that was established why 2013 recorded the highest casualties, or 2010 or 2014. Because we know that road accidents occur daily in Nigeria. So it may be a question of reportage, maybe then by states. Lagos State recorded the highest fatalities. That's the 2,454 deaths, followed by Ogun State and Abuja. If you look at the states, we know that Lagos State, because of this population, it may not only be argued why it recorded the highest fatalities. But we had to look at the urbanization of the state. We have to look at the population of the state, or its expansionist thing that is taught in the state. Or we have to look at the interlinks between Lagos State and the state via the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, or via the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Then we still have to look at the contribution of oil distribution along the major routes between Lagos State and the state. The movement of refined products via trucks. So all these things contribute to the reason why Lagos State is on top of the list of states with the highest fatalities. Then coming down to Edo State, and we know that Edo State is a transit point that leads to major states in the southeast and the southwest. So in that transit point, it actually mounts pressure on the roads, the highways within the state, and as a result, more accidents occur in the state. The Abuja's case is unique in the sense that now we have this assumption in Nigeria that our roads kill most. But Abuja's case somehow debunks this myth too, because Abuja has a very good road network. It doesn't really mean that good roads kill too. So the finding of this paper justifies that good roads kill just as bad roads, using Abuja as a case. They have very wide road network. Because the roads are good, there are tendencies of overspeeding. Because the roads are good, there are tendencies of overloading. So all these variants contribute to the reason why Abuja came into this as was affected. It's when you talk of legal violence, road accidents in Nigeria. We're looking at road accidents by month, which is of a major interest to what we do, what we're doing today. Now the topic says debunking road accidents, the myth of road accidents during the Ember Months with facts and figures. What are the Ember Months? Now we have all the months that ended with Ember. We have September, we have October, November, and December. So looking at the statistics we have, there's no specific pattern that was established when it comes to road fatalities within the Ember Months. We can see December, yes, it's acceptable that December has fatalities. That's 3,190. But apart from December, the next month we have September next, which came 5th on the list. Then we have November, came 8th on the list, and then October, 9th on the list. So there's no justification to say that there are no accidents within the Ember month from the Nigeria database data set. So defining the bonds assumption. From the chart we have July as the second month with the highest number of fatalities. We have March, we have January. Yes. Apart from December, we have July. Why is it that July recorded high fatalities of road accidents? Most times, July is the peak of rainy season, though the rain distribution may not really be established as it is in recent times. But July is often the peak of rainy season. I know within rainy seasons, there are high tendencies that, the roads may be slippery, the weather may be hazy, and then tires may swell up and then burst during journeys. So this fact justifies why July came second. March, too, there was no pattern that was established in the month, except the fact that some years in March are Easter periods. We know that Easter periods, people travel a lot. But January, being fourth on the list, after Christmas period, there are massive movement back to states of residence, locations of residence. Such mounts pressure on the roads. Even when the pressures are mounted on the roads, now there are still tendencies that there will be criminal activities along those roads. Armed robbery, though some people may actually argue that it's these days. But starting from the time we have the database in 2006, there were a lot of cases, incidents where armed robbers blocked the road, looted what people were going back to their basics. So January, we have the return to bases. Then we have incidents of crime, we have kidnapping, that all lead to road fatalities. So apart from December, July, March, January, September could not be established, October could not be established, November could not be established as held by the mates, as held by a lot of people that Ember Months contribute to the number of road accidents that occur on the roads. Secondly, there are some issues, the other issues where a group of people allude to the number of incidents on the roads to supernatural forces. In the sense that since there would be more people on the road, so all those demonic forces will come up and then cause accidents, suck their blood, and then lead people to die. Based on what we have, based on the fact we have, there is no logical conclusion to that. So again, you see the issue of attaching road accidents when the Ember Months to supernatural forces. Rather, what we found out is that during Ember Months, there are more vehicular and human activities on the road. Why people try to shuttle to and fro their places of residence and then the places of death. Now, there is traffic volume on the road. There are more vehicles on the road. So somebody can put up the argument here. Instead of alluding road accidents to the Ember Months or alluding road accidents to demonic forces on the road during the Ember Months, the argument can be put up there that because there are more accidents, because there are more human and vehicular accidents on the road, then there's more probability that there will be more road crashes. Having established that December recorded the highest number of fatalities, I went further to look at the days of the week that recorded the highest fatalities in all the Decembers of the years on the study, between 2006 and 2021. Now we had to look at the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I had to concentrate on those days because there were former reports or studies that alluded to the fact by Tomates 2015 and AK 2000 that most crashes occur during weekends due to the several religious and social activities that mount huge pressure on the roads and cause fatal accidents. So the finding also, the finding shows that Fridays actually reported the highest road crashes, fatal road crashes, 30%, followed by Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Why is it that way? Because Fridays are mass movements, people who travel on weekends, who go to cool off after work days, who go to see their parents. So the more traffic is mounted on the road, the more volume of traffic on the road, the more probability that there are road crashes. Then on Saturdays, we know a lot of places organize religious and civic activities on that day. Have drink driving, people drinking, coming back driving, at the end of the day, crashing their vehicles. Then we have religious activities too. On that Saturday, we have people like Sabbaths who attend churches and others. So it's not really a surprise that Saturday recorded second highest road fatalities within this period. Understand? We have Friday, we have Sunday, then we have Monday. Sundays we'll go to churches, or people try to go back to their places of residence, and then try to Mondays when people rush back to their places of work. So the greater volume that is mounted on road crashes, many of which later. Like I said before, looking at trying to rather than attribute increased road accidents in Ember Months to natural forces, we actually have to look at how human and mechanical force drive those road crashes. Looking at overspeeding, overloading first. Normally overloading makes vehicles less stable and difficult to steer. They cause tires to overheat and wear out. So at the end of the day, most drivers of commercial buses, what they do is try to overspeed in the bid to increase their economic returns, or try to overspeed in the bid to make more money. At the end of the day, they neglect the mechanical aspect of the vehicles they are driving, thereby exposing passengers, pedestrians, and passengers to road incidents. Drink driving is another cause of what I said during the Ember Months. It has become a major problem in Nigeria. Like in 2017, the Federal Road Safety reported that 90% of road accidents in Nigeria was as a result of alcoholic drinks, hard drugs, among other factors. We know the majority of the past in Nigeria, we only witness people selling alcoholic drinks. And most of their patronizers are drivers, not only the passengers. A couple of times when you board a bus, you will find out that they will have this like there's a popular one, Chelsea, G. So they always have it, not only exposing themselves, but if you see them, they'll go to a corner, take it before they can decide. So it exposes them to road crashes. Some governments have tried to do is to ban the sale of alcoholic drinks in motor car, but to a large extent, it's still in practice, and I mean, it has not really been helping drivers to control their vehicles. The top point here is increased traffic volume. When traffic is voluminous on the road, there is this tendency that people will jump down and opt for motorcycles or tricycles, because we know that motorcycles are easier means of transportation in Nigeria. So the roads are blocked to jump down and climb the bike. But the problem we always have with them is that most of those bike drivers try to maximize the situation, the opportunity to make more money, and in the bid expose people to road crashes. You go to most hospitals now, emergency units have actually been, you see a lot of people, motorcycle accidents, victims of motorcycle accidents in the wards. So it actually tries to prove the reason why the fact that traffic volume on the roads is problematic in Nigeria, and then exposes people to look for alternative means of which doesn't really end up well. When we have the case of adverse weather conditions during Ramadan periods, which normally comes during the Ember Months. Drivers are not only their sites are impeded, then the weather is always cloudy, and then even the lightings are not really very bad because most drivers only service their car. So it makes it difficult for drivers to see objects or vehicles from a far distance. And that's one of the reasons why for driver safety keeps hammering on this fact that the fog lights have to be put in case of those hazy weather adverse weather conditions. Then the last point I raised here is bad roads. It's not disputed. There are dead traps. So a couple of accidents occurred when drivers try to avoid potholes. So they end up ramming into incoming vehicles, or they end up jumping into the other lanes, or end up hitting pedestrians. So it's a common notion in Nigeria that I mean, many people have lost their lives, especially while some trucks or some buses or some other vehicles try to avoid bad portions of the road. So in conclusion, this paper has actually established the fact that increased road crashes during Ember Months are driven by human and mechanical force, not supernatural forces. It has also established the fact that the myth that more accidents occur during Ember Months is not really founded facts and figures, going by what we have in NigeriaWatch. So rather than alluding this increase of road accidents to physical forces or Ember Months, we have to look inwards and know how human factors, mechanical factors drive road accidents, and that will actually help us know how best to manage the situation. I pray you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Vitus Ukoji. And thank you, our listeners. Thank you. Really enjoyed this presentation. And it's now time to ask questions. I personally have questions to ask you because I found this seminar so interesting. If I'm hearing it for the first time, and I've never listened to such interesting written seminar like this. So we look forward to question, contribution. So if you have any question or contribution, please kindly raise up your hands and we'll call you. Any question, any contribution? Waiting to hear from anyone. Okay. I have this question to ask my colleague about his presentation. So we'll be waiting for your question and your contribution. But before then, I want to ask this question. There was a time that the road safety came about this speed break. Was this speed break by the road safety? I don't know, in the course of your research, did you come across any of these? And do you have anything to say about this? Has it helped in reducing road accidents? I think this speed break was introduced to limit the speed of most commercial vehicles. I want to ask if, has it really been of good? Has it really helped? Has there been it has contributed to reduce road traffic since it was introduced to commercial vehicles in Nigeria? And the second question is, what do you want to tell us about motorcycle accidents? When I was growing up, I didn't know motorcycle accidents can lead to death until not too long ago that I've seen so many bikes on our road and come to realize that, oh, motorcycle can cause death. So what do you want to say about this motorcycle road crash? Thank you. These are the questions I have for you.
break on the major roads is to control, to manage road accident, road crashes. That's the choice. But the way and manner they go about it is another thing altogether. Now you will see, if you're driving, you will see some speed breaks that are standardized. Then you see others that are more like cues. So those ones that are standardized have been able to checkmate the number of crashes we have on the roads. But you see those ones that are very high, that if mistakenly you dump them, you will see yourself. It has happened to me before as I just traveled. So I didn't see it from afar. So what happened? I just had to dump it, but luckily to control. So speed breaks are good, but there has to be a standard to that effect. So the introduction has actually helped to manage the crashes. Motorcycle accident is a problem. Commercial motorcycle is a problem in Nigeria. So it's not a surprise that many states, like I said before, banned it. Now, because they are narrow, now because they can easily maneuver through the traffic, because when they're maneuvering, they don't look to see what's in front of them. Many times they involve in accident. Like I said, I went to an emergency ward in the hospital, and the doctor just showed me majority of the accidents victims they have there motorcycle riders and their passengers. And they have, because it's small, the chances of survival is very slim. Unlike vehicles that are balanced. So the chances of survival are very, very, very slim. And it's actually good that issues keep coming up. These issues about motorcycle accidents keep coming up. So what happens presently is that they've chased them into the rural areas, they've chased them into the interiors. Now you hardly see them on the highways. But even at that, you still see very few of them. But those ones, they're risking their passengers. I don't know if I've
to this speed break. Okay, Dr. Victor, a few minutes. Also, I want our presenter to do more just my question. The speed break, the matter speed break is fine. I'm now talking about the road safety speed breaker that is introduced into cars, buses and commercial vehicles. So the commercial, the owners that there's this issue of that it's expensive and that they can't afford to get one. But it's been in the media. The conversation has been on for a long time, and that is why I want us to look into. And I'm also coming down here to this community. I'm looking at Oyo State, and I'm narrowing down to Ibadan to be specific. There's this means of transportation, mini cars called Micra. I don't know. Probably, I think I should not do that. I don't think I'll be young. They drive, and I think I look at the speedometer. Like they have more than 500 kind of their speedometer exceeds more than 500. The way they roll, the way they speed, the way they handle the driving, the car, the way they use the road. As a specialist in road traffic in Nigeria, and you also reside here in Ibadan. What can you tell us about this Micra cars and the use of road? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The first question is on FRA safety speed breakers. That was a policy. And we know in Nigeria, it's not a matter of coming up with policies. The problem always is implementation. Many of us are mobile, and nobody has ever cared to call us to come and stop speed breakers in our vehicles. So it's not just what we read on papers. It's not it's what we put into use. We don't have the implementation mechanisms to install all those speed breakers in our vehicles. One, it's costly. Two, the orientation towards that it's very, very low. It's only when you know the benefits of having it in your car that you think of going to install it. For now, The question is, how many Nigerians hear about the installation of speed breakers? Very few. If I should estimate, it's less than 10%. So for now, it still remains a policy paper. It hasn't really trickled down to the grassroots where those people in the rural village, drivers in the rural villages, will be quite aware of the need for those speed breakers. On the second issue raised about Mikra in Ibadan, we have to put into context the reason why Mikra was. Yeah, I met it in Ibadan before I came, but in some other states, yeah, people and vehicles in the same category with Mikra or Mikra were introduced. But the same mentality remains among the people that do motorcycle and the people that drive Mikra. The same orientation remains, the same. Mikra is more, motorcycle is more. You can maneuver with motorcycle, you can maneuver with Mikra. And that is the reason why if you see them on the road, the way they swerve, you will know that they still dwell in the old orientation, that mentality they have when they were driving tricycle, when they were driving motorcycle. So for me, it's not a matter of the Mikra as a vehicle. It's a matter of the person driving it. It's a matter of the mentality. Then the mentality will know when that Mikra should be serviced. You normally carry 3 people at the back and 1 in front. And most times you see Mikra carrying 2 in front and 4 at the back. So that's overloading, and the tendency of road crashes increase. So if we should talk about Mikra and road accidents in Nigeria, it's very interesting topic. And then at the end of the day, we have to train people on how to drive Mikra or on how best to change the orientation of Mikra driver. Thank you.
Thank you. I also have a question, but I'm going to stop the question. I'll allow the people to ask their question. I think I should not take the floor for today. Yes, Dr. Victor Izzy, please, you can come on, ask your question.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Very lovely presentation with lots of data. I want to ask a very important question that was striking to me when you were making the presentation. I want to know, do you have any data or do you have any information as to the ratio of commercial buses or commercial vehicles, vehicular cost of accidents in comparison with other forms of vehicles on the road? Like, did you plot any ratio as to that? Like having a kind of trying to compare commercial vehicle accidents by commercial vehicle and that caused by normal vehicles. Do you have anything like that? That's my question.
Okay. I'm trying to recall it. Just give me a few seconds to do that. I do, but not in this paper. In another paper I wrote on car accidents.
Okay. Sorry. If you have something like that, what can you say? Will you be with the data you have in NigeriaWatch? Will you be in a better position to state that commercial vehicles cause more road accidents, or there are more road accidents emanating from commercial vehicles in comparison with privately owned vehicles?
Yes. Just a minute. Okay, good. Hello, you see there? I want to share a screen now. I conducted this research in 2015. If you can see the screen. So what I did was to disaggregate the category of vehicles that cause road accidents in Nigeria.
Then we have cars, we have buses, tankers, lorries, trucks, motorcycle, tricycle, and bicycle stroke train. And from the statistics here, we can see that buses, commercial buses especially, caused the highest fatality. That's between 2006 to 2014. It's not, for me, the finding was not very, very out of place in the sense that now when you're talking about majority of road accidents in apart from the internal crashes, more intense road crashes occur on the highways. And the vehicles that apply the highways are mostly interstate buses, trucks, lorries that ferry goods to different parts of the country, not motorcycles, not private vehicles, not tricycles, not train, not bicycles. So it's not surprising that, yeah, that I found that the buses contributed to the highest fatalities when it comes to categorizing the vehicles that are involved in road accidents in Nigeria. The second category here is cars. We have cars. Then that's when you start talking about the internal transportation. Places like Lagos that have dense population, you always have issues of road accidents in those places. Places like Oyo State that has large population, we talk about those. But places like Ogun State, I mean, there was no pattern that was established in the state when it comes to the involvement of vehicles, cars, as private vehicles in the state. Rather, what was established in the state was the involvement of tankers, especially because of the movement of refined products from Lagos State via Ogun State to the lorry and then other places in the north. So there's a pattern that was established when it comes to the category of vehicles that involve in road crashes. The second question, please, if you can do me or you can repeat it, I'm trying to remember what you asked, because I was looking for this chart.
The second question I asked was, I think you've taken care of the question. I was trying to say, what's the comparison? You gave the comparison. Then I was trying to ask you whether you can say that such commercial vehicles account for more road accidents on our Nigerian roads in comparison with the privately owned vehicles.
Yeah, I can say yes. Authoritatively, I can say yes. They do because of interstate transportation.
Thank you.
Do we have another question in the house? No, do we have another question in the house? We are lucky today to have the IFRA director with us. And today we also have Sergeant Juliet also with us. We're so lucky to have people like this in the house. We would like to, if you have any contribution or question or suggestion for us, or thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I must say I'm very impressed by the quality of what I heard today. It shows the potential, actually, of this database and all the work accumulated over the years by the three researchers of NigeriaWatch. I learned a lot today. I learned why, actually, I'm going mad when I drive in the streets of Ibadan, fighting against MIGRAs or nothing has ever happened to me so far, so I'm good. But drive safely, or be safe. Actually, I only had one quick question. If you don't mind me, I guess it's a quick one. Don't worry, it's not too complicated. It's the origin of the myth of the Ember Months. Do you know it? Where does it come from? This idea that in the Ember Months there are more people dying on the streets of Nigeria.
I think he came up with the down to a historic moment. It has to do more or less with the time frame of fatalities recorded in the Nigeria. And then people started asking questions. Why are the number of cases? What are causing? And eventually went to the definite cause of the crisis.
What is part of the year? There's one reason for this part of the year. Yeah. Wow, if you want to do some studies, more research on this. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We still have question in the house. We still have question in the house. If none, we want to thank you for being part of today's online presentation. We're really happy to have you in our midst, and we also want to quickly remind you that there's going to be another section next month. Very interesting topic. I can't really wait to hear the presenter talk about mapping the trends and trajectories of ritual killings in Nigeria. Wow. So we want to look at ritual killing in Nigeria. We heard of so many things, Yahoo Plus, Yahoo, Bado, and the like. And next month, which is going to be 17th of February 2022, we're going to hear more about ritual killing in Nigeria from NigeriaWatch data in our NigeriaWatch online research seminar series. Thank you so much. We'll see you again. He's also going to you can also watch these on YouTube. Then when you meet someone, your friend or someone close to you missed this presentation, you can go on YouTube and you find it live. So, thank you. We'll see you again next week. Bye.